In the grim darkness of the future, or fantastical past, there is only gaming. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Warhammer games. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at some of the most fun, well-made, and innovative games based on the Warhammer Fantasy and 40k universes. So, if you've ever wondered how to best serve the God Emperor of mankind, this is the list for you.
For the Empire!
Number 10, Warhammer 40k, Deathwatch, Tyranid Invasion. This mobile game for iOS brings the glory of killing your enemies for the Emperor straight to your pocket. Take your hardened Space Marines on a 40-mission-long crusade to eliminate the Tyranid threat, or risk the destruction of the Imperium of Man. With decent graphics and solid gameplay, this turn-based strategy game is a great addition to the pantheon of new titles set in the 40k universe. So, if you love brutal campaigns and slaying Tyranids with multi-meltas, bolters, plasma guns, and laser cannons, then this is the game for you. Number 9, Mordheim, City of the Damned.
Each warband can have one unique impressive unit. The Cult of the Possessed features this huge chaos spawn.
Set in the Warhammer Fantasy universe, this turn-based tactical game takes place in the Imperial city of Mordheim, after it has been struck and decimated by a twin-tailed comet. You choose from one of 4 factions and must fight to collect the weird stone fragments left over from the celestial rock. Based on the tabletop game of the same name, Mordheim features some solid tactical gameplay, which forces you to make some tough decisions. Only the strong and strategic will survive this game.
Willing to showcase the whole range of its diverse talents, the Magister is going to attack the Warlock in melee. That should hurt.
Number 8, Warhammer End Times, Vermintide. As the title of this one suggests, this game features a literal tide of vermin. This first-person action game lets you team up with 3 other players to fight back against wave after wave of Skaven, vicious rodent-like creatures who come in different sizes and with a variety of deadly abilities. Vermintide takes the extra effort to make sure every strike of the hammer and stab of the dagger is a violent and visceral experience. As the end of the world approaches, will you take up arms or skulk in the shadows like a rat?
The Fagaraki are swarming!
Number 7, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine. Ever fantasize about being a genetically modified holy warrior slaughtering the enemies of humankind in the name of the Emperor? Well, if the answer is for some reason yes, then 2011's 40k Space Marine lets you live out that very specific fantasy.
This day's getting interesting.
In this third-person shooter by Relic Entertainment, you play as Ultramarine Commander Captain Titus as he fights to save the Forge world Graia from an orc invasion, which is, a tough task, considering, as we all know, orcs is best. Space Marine features an intense mix of ranged and melee combat that is sure to satisfy fans of the 40k universe.
They want to steal this world. Let them try.
Number 6, Blood Bowl 2.
The campaign matches have all sorts of wild and unexpected events, constantly renewing the gameplay.
This is what happens when you take football and mix it with the Warhammer Fantasy universe. This turn-based sports game is all mayhem, violence, and blood.
But be careful, all deaths are permanent and losses are final.
Taking its cues from American football, Blood Bowl 2 adds orcs, dwarfs, humans, chaos, and elves to create the pigskin game we all dreamed of. And there are no penalties for excessive celebration here. In fact, injuring and killing is widely encouraged. More than just spectacle, the turn-based gameplay is perfect for the game's loose approximation of football and makes for a very unique sports game. Number 5, Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War. This classic real-time strategy game set the standard for every Warhammer game that followed. You follow Space Marine Gabriel Angelos of the Blood Ravens as he battles through an epic single-player campaign in the service of, who else, the Emperor. In addition to the 4 original playable races, expansion packs greatly increased the game's lifespan, adding even more classic Warhammer units and races to the chaos. Of course, none of these are a match for the orcs. Number 4. Battlefleet Gothic Armada.
The Imperial Creed guides me, banishing all doubt or regret. The Emperor stands with us, and I have felt the purity of his righteousness.
Set in the Gothic sector during Abaddon the Despoiler's 12th Black Crusade, Armada is a new and fresh take on the classic RTS genre. The campaign is a fun and challenging mix of survival and strategy, while the multiplayer lets you take your flying space cathedrals of destruction into 1v1s or 2v2s against other players. The game also makes use of some great RPG elements, which let you upgrade your ship's weapons, crew, and abilities.
Maneuvering and positioning in Battlefleet Gothic is one of the many keys to success.
Great graphics and smooth mechanics make this an underappreciated game worth a look.
Hundreds of billions of hands ready to die for our mission in the cold, unforgiving space.
Number 3. Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning. Featuring some of the best PvP of its genre, this MMO was set in Games Workshop's Warhammer Fantasy universe. In a massive realm-scale war, you could choose between either the forces of destruction or the forces of order. Each faction fought its nemesis for control of specific areas and battlefields.
The forces of destruction will conquer all.
Unlike many MMOs at the time, and even of today, Age of Reckoning had a strong launch with many of the promised features available right out of the gate. It's just sad it's no longer available, of course. Number 2. Warhammer 40k Dawn of War 2.
We have arrived, and it is now that we perform our charge.
Perhaps one of the best real-time strategy games ever, Dawn of War 2 has us again take control of the venerable Bloodraven Space Marines. The game features a fantastic campaign which allows you to level up and customize your squads according to your playstyle and then deploy them in battle. Though the scope of the combat was scaled down, this allowed for some great micro-strategy gameplay. Later expansions also added the Last Stand game mode, which allowed players to choose a hero, team up with friends, and survive against waves of enemies.
Hammer of the Emperor, attack!
Number 1. Total War Warhammer. The dream of every Warhammer and PC strategy fan came true when Creative Assembly released their first traditional Total War game set in a fantasy universe. Building on the successful Total War series, Total Warhammer, as it's called, takes the concept to a scale never before seen in a Warhammer video game. Each race has a diverse roster of units ranging from flying beasts to dwarven artillery, and each playable faction has more diversity than ever before in a Total War game. And the good news is, this is just the first in a promised trilogy of Warhammer fantasy games. The best may be yet to come, but this is still pretty darn good as it is. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.